When I started a business, I had no idea what it was like. I didn't know anyone who had a business. I barely knew what the word entrepreneur meant. I had zero experience, and I didn't have any family or friends that had experience. So everything was really new to me, and I was just kind of feeling my way around. I had brought on this guy to help me manage the business and grow the business. And he told me that he was an investor. And I guess I went on a lot of blind faith in trusting him. I did ask around. I mean, he was from the same city I was from, and I knew people that he went to high school with, and no one alerted me to anything odd. And he wound up working with me for 10 months, which sounds like a really long time to not know what was going on in my business. He was managing employees. He was supposed to be paying the vendors. He was making deliveries. He was helping set up charity events and other events. And we were spending every day together, the majority of the day, and working really closely together. And I didn't find out until 10 months later that he was actually a con artist, and he conned me out of everything. The biggest overall takeaway is to never get to the point that you feel desperate or you feel like you need someone else's help. Because I think that's the point that I got to. My business was growing, and I didn't know what to do. And this guy came in, and he said that he had money, and he said that he had time, and he really wanted to help, and he believed in the product, and he believed in what I was doing. And I felt like I didn't know what else to do, and so I took him up on his offer. And so that's the biggest takeaway for me, is like, there's always another option. Never feel desperate or stuck or like you need one specific person's help, right, or one specific company's help or anything like that. Throughout this whole process, I'm getting sued. I'm having to defend myself. I'm having to repeatedly go down to the police station to make my statements and to testify to get him charged. He eventually went to state prison for everything. And throughout all of this, I didn't want anyone to know what was going on, any of the public, because you're right. It wasn't because my business wasn't working. Like, right, I was getting so much publicity. People loved the cupcakes. Like, the business was working. It was the first time I was actually good at something, and things were, going well. Like, people wanted the product, and we were getting a lot of attention. So I was like, I just started this, and it was going well aside from all of this, and I don't want to just let it go, because I was trying to keep everything going and not have this lapse between the two businesses. And honestly, looking back on it, I feel like I was on autopilot in a sense. Like, so much horrible stuff had just happened, and I just kept going because I felt like I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have any backup plans. I didn't know what else to do. I felt like I was on autopilot. I just had to keep going. I could not find a manufacturer, and that was the worst. I had all this interest. I had this great momentum. I had just signed a book deal with a publisher for a cookbook that was going to come out the following year, and I could not find a manufacturer. And it took me a year and a half to eventually find a manufacturer. Everyone I called, it was just no after no after no after no. Throughout that year and a half, I quit for a couple months. I'm like, this isn't working. I can't find anyone. I got to find something else to do. And then I started back up calling manufacturers again. I think what kept me going was just, I felt and believed in my heart and soul that this needed to happen, that this was going to happen, this needed to happen. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I think that's the difference, right? Because there's things that I pursue in my life now or in the past or whatever that I start pursuing and I get no's, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to continue with that, because I don't have that same feeling. I don't have that same like gut feeling that this is supposed to happen, this needs to happen. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm obsessed with it. I think when you have that feeling is when you need to keep going past all the no's, because you can't not. The one thing I would tell my younger self would be that it's not going to play out the way I want it to, the way I think it is going to, and to relax a bit more and enjoy the ride, because it's going to be a ride. And if I could enjoy it more and realize that things are going to happen that are outside my control, then life's just going to be more fun.